What's going on, everybody? My name is David Delano. This video is brought to you guys by hitthepick.com. We're going to talk about line shopping, and you may just be interested in the free picks, the premium picks, the parlays, the 3x, the 10x, the 12x, all of that good stuff. But there's a lot of different things in this sports betting, sports picking, sports investing world that you need to know if you want to be successful, not just today, but in the long term. No one's going to hit every day, but you need to have good habits, really good habits. Understanding how this thing works is really more important than just being able to hit that parlay or hit winners today or tomorrow. So we're going to go ahead and talk about line shopping, which is it's really pretty simple, even though some people may not understand it. And example that I'll use today, you may see various sports books. You probably see the ads all the time. You go on different websites. There's some offshore, there's some onshore. This video is recorded in the United States, so we're going to talk about the a lot of the legal sports books in the United States. So, for example, here, Bet365 is a sports book. BetMGM is a sports book. DraftKings, Caesar, Bet Rivers, ESPN Bet, all are different betting lines. Now, that does not mean that they all have the same prices. And what do I mean by that? Well, let me go ahead and give you an example. College football is a sport where the odds can vary pretty substantially. So let's look at this particular, let's say the 2025 college football season. Ohio State is opening up against the Texas Longhorns. Now, right now, let's looking at these odds. Ohio State is a 2.5 point favorite on ESPN Bet, a 2.5 point favorite on DraftKings, a 2.5 point favorite on BetMGM. But on Bet365, Ohio State is a 3.5 point favorite. Texas is a 3.5 point underdog. What does something like that mean? Well, there's a pretty high possibility that this game could fall on a 3 point margin. So let's say that you're just saying, somebody's saying, take the Buckeyes, or you like the Buckeyes, right? Let's say you like Ohio State and you take Ohio State on Bet365 today at -3.5. And Ohio State wins that game, but they only win it 24-21. Well, you had -3.5. That means that Ohio State needs to win by at least 3.5 points for you to cover, and they didn't. Had you got the 2.5 on BetMGM or any of those sports books that had the 2.5, you would win. Same thing goes for the Texas Longhorns. If you like Texas, you want to get the line that's going to give you the best bang for your buck. Now, sometimes also with odd shopping, with line shopping, you do have to pay a little bit more. For example, this -3.5 at Ohio State is -105. What does that mean? You have to risk $105 to be able to profit 100. Where if you get them at the 2.5, ESPN Bet, BetMGM, DraftKings, it's -110. So instead of risking $105 to win 100, you have to risk $110. So that's an extra $5 that you have to risk per $100 to get that extra point with Ohio State on that sports book. If it doesn't make sense, if there's some ways that I could clear it up better, you know what? I'm a real person. Leave a comment. I'll definitely go ahead and respond to it. And we're gonna have more content like this on this YouTube channel, along with on hitthepick.com. Let's go ahead and touch on baseball for a moment here. That's the way a football line goes. Happens a lot in the NFL as well. Definitely a lot in basketball. But let's look at a baseball line, for example. And the New York Yankees are taking on the Minnesota Twins. Now, in this particular game, you see that the New York Yankees over on ESPN Bet are a -175 favorite, and the Twins are a +145 underdog. And then over on Caesar Sportsbook, the Yankees are a -190 favorite, and the Twins are a +158 underdog. Well, this is why it's important to have access to multiple sports books, because if you like the Yankees and you just want to take them to win, On ESPN Bet, you'd have to risk $175 to win 100. Pretty steep price. But even steeper over on Caesar, where you'd have to lay $190 to profit 100. That's an extra $15 there over the grand course of the grand scheme of things. That can be a big difference versus if you take the Twins as an underdog at plus 145 on ESPN Bet, you risk 100, you get $145 profit plus your $100 back. But if you get the plus 158 price over on Caesar, you get an extra $13. Now, may not sound like a whole lot, but that extra $13, that if you're making, 10, 100, 500 bets, 1,000 bets on the year, those prices make a big difference. Point being, always look at the odds, always look at the lines. If you've got multiple sports books, you want to go with the one that has the best odds. Something that we could get into a little bit later. And this is only going to probably matter for those who are really investing high amounts. A lot of times people say that you can't win long term. They'll say that if you're winning, they're going to shut you down. They're going to limit you. I'm not going to say that that's not true, although it does take a pretty sizable amount of winning for that to happen. But another way to risk that, of course, doesn't it makes it if you have one book and you're shopping, if you have six books, for example, and you're shopping the lines, you've got some of these options. If you've got multiple books, you might have to take some of the prices that you don't love, but you spread that out between, like, let's say, BetMGM, Caesar, DraftKings, ESPN Bet Rivers. Instead of putting 5 grand on one game, instead of putting 10 grand on one game, you can kind of spread that out. $500 here, 1,000 here, 2,000 here, 200 here. Maybe not bet it on this site on this day, and really spreading those out, because just the line that's better one day is not necessarily going to be the better line on the next. Probably have to come back with a little bit of the chalkboard and some visuals. But let me know what you guys think about line shopping. If you have any comments on it or any other questions, thanks so much for watching. You can follow me on X at Get Sports Strong and check out hitthepick.com. Be smart out there, guys. Always be responsible. Have a great day.